I've spent the last week researching the most insane industries on the planet, and what I found is shocking. Think starting a business is always a good idea? Think again. What if I told you that your dream business could actually be a nightmare waiting to happen? We always talk about the rewards of entrepreneurship, the freedom, the money, the success. But we almost never talk about the insane risks. Some businesses aren't just financially risky, they're literally life-threatening. Forget about losing money, we're talking about businesses where a single mistake could be your last. It's absolutely crazy what people will do to make a living, and today, we're diving deep into the most extreme examples. Today, we're revealing the 7 most dangerous businesses you should avoid at all costs. We're going to count down from 7 to 1, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you will look at the world of business completely differently. These aren't your typical high failure rate startups like restaurants or retail stores. These are industries where the stakes are life and death every single day. Some of these might surprise you. You might think you know what a dangerous job looks like, but I guarantee a few of these will catch you completely off guard. We're talking about everything from hidden dangers in everyday industries to high-stakes operations that seem like they're straight out of an action movie. So, stick around because we're about to expose the side of business that nobody ever talks about. Let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 7 is the construction industry. Towering cranes, skeletons of new buildings, the constant noise of machinery. It looks like progress, right? But behind the scenes, it's one of the most dangerous fields you can possibly enter. The fatality rate in construction is insanely high compared to other industries. Just think about it. You're working hundreds of feet in the air, surrounded by heavy machinery that could crush you in an instant. Dealing with powerful tools that can cause serious injury with one slip. It's a minefield of potential disasters. The number of ways you can get seriously hurt or worse is staggering. Every single day on a construction site is a battle against gravity and physics. A small miscalculation, a moment of distraction, a piece of faulty equipment can lead to a catastrophic accident. So while building the future sounds heroic, the risk of it ending your own future is terrifyingly real. Coming in at number 6, we have mining. This is an industry that has been romanticized for centuries. The idea of striking it rich by pulling gold or diamonds from the earth. But the reality is absolutely brutal. The working conditions are some of the most hazardous on the planet. Miners spend their days deep underground, in cramped, dark tunnels with poor ventilation. They are constantly at risk of cave-ins that can trap them for days or bury them alive. It is terrifying to even think about being thousands of feet below the surface when the earth above you decides to collapse. Beyond the immediate danger of collapses, the environment itself is trying to kill you. Miners are exposed to a cocktail of toxic substances. Breathing in coal dust over long periods leads to black lung disease, a debilitating and fatal condition. Other mines release poisonous gases like methane, which can lead to explosions, or carbon monoxide, which can silently suffocate an entire crew. It's a constant battle against an invisible enemy. The equipment is heavy and dangerous, and the remote locations mean that if something goes wrong, help is hours or even days away. And if you're thinking of starting a mining company, I hope you have $1 billion lying around. The startup costs are astronomical. It's a high-cost, high-risk gamble where you can lose everything, including your life. At number 5, we're heading out to the open ocean with deep-sea fishing. If you've ever seen the show Deadliest Catch, you have a small glimpse into how insane this business is. But I'm telling you, the reality is even crazier. This profession consistently ranks as having the highest mortality rate of any job in the world. You are literally fighting Mother Nature in her most powerful and unpredictable form. One minute the sea can be calm, and the next you're in the middle of a monster storm with 40-foot waves crashing over the deck, trying to wash you and your entire livelihood into the freezing ocean. The dangers are relentless and come from every direction. The deck of a fishing vessel is a chaotic mess of heavy crab pots, swinging cranes, and high-tension cables that can snap and whip across the deck with enough force to cut a person in half. Then there's the risk of equipment failure. If your engine dies in the middle of a storm hundreds of miles from shore, you are completely at the mercy of the sea. There's no calling for a tow truck out there. On top of the constant threat to your life, the physical toll is immense. Fishermen work insane hours, often 20 hours a day, for weeks or months at a time, leading to extreme fatigue. The financial side is also a huge gamble. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars on fuel, bait, and supplies for a single trip, and come back with a poor catch, putting you deep in debt. It's a business where you risk your life for a paycheck that isn't even guaranteed. It's absolutely wild. For our number 4 spot, we're going deep into the woods with the logging industry. This might seem more grounded than deep-sea fishing, but don't let that fool you. It's just as deadly. Loggers, or lumberjacks, work with some of the most dangerous machinery imaginable. Chainsaws that can tear through flesh and bone in a fraction of a second. Massive harvesters and skidders that can weigh over 20 tons. A moment of inattention around this equipment can be fatal. The noise is deafening. The terrain is uneven and treacherous. The work is physically punishing. The most iconic and terrifying danger is the trees themselves. A logger has to predict exactly how a 100-foot, multi-ton tree will fall. A slight miscalculation or an unexpected gust of wind can send it the wrong way, crushing anyone or anything in its path. Then there's the danger of widowmakers, dead branches or treetops that break loose and fall silently from above. You could be doing everything right and still be taken out by a piece of falling wood you never saw coming. It's an environment where danger literally hangs over your head. Breaking into our top 3 is an industry that operates in the shadows, private security. This isn't just about being a mall cop. We're talking about high-stakes security contracting like protecting VIPs in unstable regions, securing valuable assets against organized crime, or performing maritime security against pirates. Yes, modern-day pirates. In this line of work, the primary occupational hazard is violence. You are literally putting yourself between your client and someone who wants to harm them or steal from them. The threat of being shot, stabbed, caught in an explosion is a daily reality. The legal liabilities are absolutely insane. As a private security contractor, you operate in a gray area of the law. The rules of engagement can be murky. A split-second decision to use force can lead to years of legal battles, even if you were just defending your client or yourself. Our runner-up for the most dangerous business is chemical manufacturing. This is an industry that is essential to our modern lives. It produces everything from plastics, fertilizers, pharmaceuticals. But working in it is like walking on a tightrope over a pool of acid. The risk of toxic exposure is constant. Workers are handling substances that can cause immediate chemical burns, long-term cancers, severe respiratory damage from just breathing in the fumes. A small leak in a valve, a tear in a hazmat suit can have devastating health consequences that might not appear for years. Then there's the catastrophic risk of explosions and fires. Many chemical plants are basically giant bombs waiting to go off. They deal with highly volatile and flammable substances under high pressure and temperature, and the number 1 most dangerous business you can possibly start is a private aviation company or an airline startup. This is the absolute peak of high-risk, high-stakes entrepreneurship. Why? Because the cost of failure is not just financial, it's catastrophic. When a restaurant fails, it closes its doors. When an airline fails mid-flight, hundreds of people can die. The responsibility you hold is unimaginable. The financial barrier to entry is also just completely insane. We're talking about hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars just to get started. First, you have to buy or lease aircraft, which cost tens or hundreds of millions each. Then you need to pay for fuel, which is absurdly expensive and volatile. You need to hire and train pilots, flight attendants, mechanics. You have to pay for hangar space at airports, landing fees, marketing. You are burning through millions before you've sold a single ticket. It is a cash inferno, and most airline startups fail within the first few years. But the biggest danger is the safety standards. The aviation industry is the most heavily regulated industry on Earth for a good reason. Every single part of your operation, from the bolts on the engine to the training of your pilots, is under a microscope. A single lapse in maintenance, a shortcut on a safety check, or a pilot pushing their flight hours can lead to a disaster. It's the ultimate gamble, and the price of losing is simply too high. So there you have it, the 7 most dangerous businesses in the world. Thank you for watching Stack and Grow. Subscribe for more financial insights and business wisdom.